Okay, well, thank you guys so much for jumping on tonight. And it was kind of last notice or last minute to get this opened up to the rest of the team. But tonight I asked Kinsey to help us and talk about recruiting from challenge groups. So I know that I usually have pretty good sized groups, but I have a really hard time getting people recruited to do coaching or even just to be like a preferred member or a discount coach. And really, obviously, I think we're all pushing for like more business builders. So Kinsey said this was really her strong point. So I'm just going to mute myself and let you take it from here, Kinsey.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, I am going to talk about a couple different aspects of, recruiting coaches, basically. I'm going to talk about both from your challenge groups, which is the majority of what I'm going to talk about, how to sign coaches within your challengers, and then just a small portion of cold inviting to coaches, because I do feel like that's something that I've been able to do with my business successfully, and I know not a lot of coaches are able to do that, and I'm not saying it works every time, but I do kind of have, a method of how I go about doing this. So I'm going to talk about both things, but first, first of all, whenever we're talking about recruiting, I always, tell new coaches that want to build their business, if you are wanting to build and, create this as your income, you need to have a non-negotiable for yourself every month of what I say is make yourself emerald every single month, meaning sign up 2 coaches. Bottom line, discount, otherwise, I don't care. But every month, you should be making yourself emerald, signing up 2 coaches. If you want to grow faster than that, of course, more is great. But that's kind of the benchmark that I set for coaches who say, yes, I want to go for it. That's also the benchmark I set for myself. So, I'm leading by example in that way. And then to set monthly goals about how many coaches you want to assign. And yes, a lot of us, we of course need those business building coaches to create, a solid base on our teams. But I also want to touch on discount coaches today, because we can never discount our discount coaches. I know I have a lot of coaches come to me and say, you know what, I signed up like 5 coaches this month, but they're all discount coaches. Well, you know what, that's okay, because they are a solid part of our business. And, I forget that from time to time too. I'm at a point where it's been a while since I've recruited a solid business building coach that's really taken off, but I know it's only a matter of time, because it's only certain people, right, that are drawn to this business for whatever their why reason is. And you're going to find those people over time if you keep doing these things that I'm going to talk about. And then what was I going to say about discount coaches? But really, discount coaches, what I was going to say was, in your whole team of coaches, you will have 20% of, say you have 10 coaches signed up. A couple of them will be business building coaches. The rest of them, discount coaches, and that is okay. So just keep that in mind as you invite people to the coaching opportunity. Not all of them will be rock stars that'll take it to the next level, but you never know. Over time, they might. So I'm going to dive into kind of the different ways that I recruit through a challenge group. And the first way I start with is recruiting from the very beginning. Now, as I'm inviting people to my challenge groups, and I didn't start doing this until the beginning of this year. So after almost a year of being a coach, I started doing this kind of method, which was as someone's signing up for a challenge pack, to invite them right away, right out the gate, to be a discount coach. Now, I don't like to do this with everyone, because I feel like if you do find someone that's going to be a really solid business builder, I don't want to set them up for failure and have them sign up for the discount, and then maybe 2 months later decide that they're going to go for it, and they want to do, they want to be a success starter or earn that free ticket to Summit. So these kind of coaches I kind of set feelers out there to see if, I think they probably would be a good discount coach. Now I'm wrong sometimes, but I send them a message just saying that this is after I've sent them the initial invite for the challenge group, and they're on board and they want a challenge pack, and they say, awesome, I'm so excited for you to get started. What I always ask people to do when they sign up is either sign up as a regular customer or as a preferred customer or discount coach. And when they do that, I explain the 25% discount, the $15.99 fee a month, and they either say yes or they say no. And honest to goodness, you would be surprised how many people say yes, because everyone likes to save money, right? And you always tell them they're able to cancel in the end. But that is just a way from the very beginning to sign someone up as a coach. They can cancel later if they want, but it also opens the door for you to talk to them later about maybe potentially being a business building coach, and they're already signed up. And again, if they just want to keep going with the discount, they're already set to go with that. So that's kind of one way to just right out the gate ask people, invite them to coaching for the discount. So as I'm going with my challenge groups, I always start my challenge groups in the third Monday of every month. That's because I like to invite in the first couple weeks, maybe run a free challenge group where I'm getting people's interest. And then once my challenge group starts, I check in with every challenger after the first week. I check in with them, whether they've been posting or not, whether they bought a challenge pack from me or not. And I say, hey, how's it going? I either say, oh my gosh, what you've been doing in the group is so amazing. I love how you're encouraging other people. Just keep it up, keep the good work going. And most of the time, that's always my genuine response to those people who are doing that, because I'm just blown away usually by, people taking the reins and really going for it. And then if people are a little more quiet in the group, I'll say something like, hey, I know you signed up with your challenge pack. I just want to see how everything's going. I'm here if you ever have any questions. Feel free to post anything in the group whenever you feel comfortable. I know not everyone posts as much as the others, but I'm always here if you need help. And most of the time, everyone responds back to me. And so that just kind of starts the conversation going. That is like the communication they feel comfortable with, where they're not just like out in the group so much. And then on the second week, after I've had a few conversations, kind of in the backgrounds with challengers, if I see people who are really taking off, I keep my eyes peeled for the people who are posting every day, who are posting their, measurements, their before pictures, their after pictures, whatever it is that they're super engaged with in the group. I just feel like they have that thing, that motivating factor, or that drive, kind of that competitive feeling, like kind of how I am. I always invite those people. So what I do with those challengers, now this is week 1, I message them and just say, you're awesome, keep motivating people, you're doing great, thank you so much for being awesome in the group. Week 2, I send them a message and say, gosh, you are really motivating, like even me. I say, you are like on fire, and I'm just inspired by your posts every day. And I really think you would be an amazing coach. Have you ever thought about being a Beachbody coach? Simple. That is all you need to say. You don't need to say anything else about Beachbody coaching. But you're doing awesome. You're doing what I'm doing already. And have you ever considered being a Beachbody coach? Now, you'll get a couple of responses from that. You're going to get, well, no, I've never thought about it. It's not really my thing. Totally fine. You could get, well, I never thought about it, but maybe I'd like more info. Or I get more often than not, it's like, you know what, I actually was thinking about it and I would like some more info. So when I get a no, here's what I do. I always invite that no to become a discount coach, especially if they've already signed up with a challenge pack. So regardless if they think coaching is for them or not, I invite them to join for the discount. And even then they might say no, but it's just a no or not right now. But that's usually always my response for a no. If I get a yes, or I'd like more info on the hard hitters page, I've yet to really perfect my own that I feel like comfortable with. And I really like hers. She goes through everything from what it costs to sign up, her background. She has the same kind of story as me as far as being a mom and balancing things. So I feel like the people I'm connecting with would connect with her story as well. So I always send them a what is coaching call. And then I always set up a time, touch back with that person within 48 to 72 hours, never longer. And I really like to get people on the phone if I can, because it just gives them the chance to ask as many questions as they have. And I also tell them before, we get on the phone, think of any questions you have, we can go over it.
Hey, Kinsey, can I interrupt you for just a second?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I think we are losing you just a little bit. It's like 90% good, but just a little bit. So Ashley asked you a question. Who are you connecting with? Is it Kelly?
Oh, go ahead. Oh, for the coaching call?
Is that right, Ashley?
Hold on. Am I breaking up?
A little bit.
Let me move inside and see if it's a little better.
Pause and come up with questions, guys. Write them down.
Okay. Let me see. See if this gets better here.
Okay.
Do you feel like it's better?
I think it's better already.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who I'm connecting with in those conversations, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Those messages are my challengers. I was saying that I'm messaging my challengers. So this is how I recruit primarily from a challenge group, right? The people who have bought challenge packs from me or signed up for Beachbody On Demand. What I was saying about Kelly was that I send them the coaching call that Kelly had recorded a while back.
Okay. And
that's just the one that I've always used. I know she has a link to a bunch of like what is coaching calls in the Team Hard Hitters file section. And they're great because you can find ones that relate to, nurses or moms, single parents, a whole different background of things, men, whoever you're reaching out to as a coach, you want to make it specific to them, right? I'm not going to send probably the I want to be a stay-at-home mom call to someone who has no kids. So those are the coaching calls I'm sending people. If I don't send them a coaching call, I'll then, if it's the right timing in the month, I will get them started with our Glimpse into Coaching group or Coaching Backstage Pass or whatever we have going on at the time. So either the coaching call or one of our groups that we have. But really the fortune is in the follow-up. You have to be talking to these people and following up. You don't just send them this link and say, hey, do you want to join coaching? It'd be great. And nothing. You have to follow up, right? So that's really where the magic starts to happen. I think I could send them a nothing call. And, as long as we follow up, that's the important part. So that's what I was talking about with contacting coaches. Week 1, you talk to them about how encouraging challengers, how encouraging they are. And then in the second week, I like to really reach out and dig into inviting to coaching. And this is all behind the scenes in my challenge groups, right? I'm still, running my challenge groups like normal, but behind the scenes, I'm having these conversations with all of my challengers. Now, no matter what, anyone who signs up with me with a challenge pack, I invite to coaching. Discount coaching, business building coaching, if I see the potential, because I think everyone has a benefit there. I've had people who have been discount coaches with me for 7+ months who I know probably will never do anything with the business, but love Shakeology and love the products and love what we have, with this company. And they are stoked just to get their 25% off every month. So that's why I say never discount the discount coaches, because they can be with you and valuable customers of yours for a long time to come. And then, so we kind of touched on recruiting discount coaches from your challenge groups, which you can do the invite initially or the invite after they've been in the challenge group for a little while. And then, let's see, I talked about inviting business building coaches, following up. What other notes did I have on here? Pretty much that was it, following up. And then I just want to touch on cold inviting for a second. I'd say 90% of how I get my coaches are from challenge groups, but cold inviting has kind of been, it's been successful in the times that I've done it and done it kind of strategically. So I wanted to share a little bit about that. The first way you kind of plant the seeds for cold inviting, obviously, is our calls to action, right? Kind of planting the seeds of coaching in our lives, how it affects our lives, those little subtle posts. I know if you've watched any social media training for coaching, you say, Bonnie Engel is so good at this for interjecting how coaching is kind of affecting her life without being like, Beachbody coaching. So those posts, calls to action, when we post our invites to, sneak peeks into coaching groups, those are all ways we're kind of exposing ourselves as coaches, right? Letting people know what we do and that we're looking for people to join us. Anytime anyone likes, comments, anything about those posts, I always, try and connect with them.
I have a question, Kinsey. Sorry, I got really excited and I was on mute. So, okay. So I am so sorry to interrupt you, but no. I have a huge problem with this. I have friends from my work at Adobe on my Facebook. So when I post, like, I'm kind of trying to be a little bit subtle about the fact that I'm like, I don't want to be yelling to the world, hey, I want to quit my job so I can be a Beachbody coach. But I kind of, at the same time, do want to make that clear, like, hey, look at what coaching has done for me. I really struggle with that and like how much I put out there. Have you had that experience with your nursing job or anything like that?
And I'm glad you brought that up because I definitely have the same kind of struggle balance. And for me, it's like I never want to quit nursing. Like for me, it's such a passion of mine and what I get to do. But I totally know what you mean because I don't want my coworkers to see that either and be like, I mean, I have coworkers who are discount coaches and who are be like, well, she doesn't really care about this job. She just wants to go off and do this fitness thing. So I guess, I don't know, for me, I try and interject both, but I totally get that and maybe just post things about how, you can have the best of both worlds, at least for right now. And I post a lot about my Beachbody income being a lot of the extras for our family, that we get to go on all these vacations and we get to do these things without worrying about where that money's going to come from. And my husband's a business owner, so he kind of sets his own hours. And so, if he just has 2 weeks off, like we don't have to worry about where the money's going to come from. So just get creative with think about, that kind of stuff. That's at least what I try and do.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, that was a great question because I'm right there with you. So going back to the cold inviting. So when I send a cold invite to someone to invite to coaching, basically a cold invite is inviting someone to the coaching opportunity that's never been a customer of yours, never been a challenger. Maybe they've used Shakeology in the past, but have signed up with someone else or online or whatever. But these are people that I just see on social media and whatever they're sharing, for whatever reason, I'm drawn to them, right? I'm like, I can't not watch their story, which I hope is what people think when they see my posts and that kind of thing. I'm just seeing them and I'm like, gosh, they would be a great coach, whether they are into fitness right now or not in their life. Or I see people that are posting about their struggle, that they want to stay home with their kids and they hate their job. Those little triggers are things you should always be looking for in people's posts because everyone's they're willing to post that vulnerable stuff, right? Because they're kind of hiding behind their keyboard. So a lot of times I scrolling through my news feed and I see those little things and I'll write their name down in my little notebook that I keep, but I'll just kind of watch them for a little while. I'll comment on their things. I'll make sure that they're seeing my face in their news feed because it just kind of plants that seed. So if I'm ready to really go for it and invite this person to coaching, if they kind of fit that mold and what I'm looking for, it has to be someone pretty special for me to send a cold coaching invite to. I will just send them a message and I know Kelly's posted this template before, but it's hey, I'm so, drawn to your posts on social media and I totally, feel what you're going through. And I just wanted to know, have you ever considered becoming a Beachbody coach? I know you may have no idea what it is I do as a coach, but it's changed my life in X, Y, and Z ways. And I think you would be great because of, and be genuine about what qualities you see in them that would make them special or a great coach. And 99% of the time people are just flattered that you thought of them, even if they want nothing to do with it. But it's been proven so many times for me that at least people want information. And if nothing else, they've become customers of mine out of it. Even if I hadn't reached out to them for joining a challenge group or anything like that in the past. So that's kind of, the quick and dirty of cold inviting. And I know a lot of people don't like to do it. We had a big talk about this in Tahoe at the leadership retreat about cold inviting, and everyone was pretty much divided 50-50. And I say I probably only do it because it's worked. And I think the people who haven't done it don't do it because it hasn't worked for them. And maybe it's just the luck of the draw, but it's just another technique on inviting to coaching on people you just see that you're like, gosh, I want this person on my team. I want to work with them. They'd be awesome. So that's kind of the gist of what I got for inviting.
I have more questions.
Go for it. I know, I went super fast. Sorry.
Okay, I just came up with it and I didn't write it down because you literally just said it and now it's gone. So Okay, it had to do with coaching and inviting. Someone else go, and I'll come up with it. Jess, Ashley, come on.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
I have two. So when you do your challenge groups, do you do prizes?
So that's funny. So when probably the first 9 months I did challenge groups, I did prizes. And I did, the point system. And sometimes I did the point system where I kept track of the points. And sometimes I did it where they kept track of the points. And then sometimes I did no points. And I just found like it got to be like more work than it's worth for me. And I felt like people are going to be competitive or all in or not in at all, regardless of prizes.
Okay.
I felt like it started to just overwhelm me more than anything. So what I started to do recently was post about halfway through my challenge group, and I say, surprise, I'm going to do a prize for the most inspirational person in the group, and I want everyone to private message me who they think should win kind of the Miss Congeniality Award, right? So then I'll have everyone message me, and it is kind of a confidence booster, and it's usually those people. The people who win are the people who obviously are posting a lot, who are really engaged in the group, Jessica, who are, kind of the cookie cutter coach. Like they're already doing the behaviors. So it's kind of cool that they get that recognition because they're already doing those things. And I just found it to take a lot of stress off of me to worry about points and this, and people don't care about free stuff. I'm like, hello. Like I won the free stuff when I was in my challenge group. Hello. Yeah. So
Laura, did you remember? Because if not, I have one more.
You can go ahead, but I did remember, and I wrote it down.
I'll just go really quick.
Okay.
Do you let people who have not bought challenge packs come to your challenge group? Because I hear that a lot. Like, oh, I already have shakes from this person, or I have a ton of like beach body workouts already. Like, But then I'm like, I still let them come. Do you let them do that?
I do. Okay. I have probably within the last 4 or 5 months started to be a little more strict because I feel like as I've become a more confident coach, like I'm like, my time is valuable. What I have to offer people is valuable. Like I put a lot of work into my challenge groups because I want people to get real results. Like I don't just do these for nothing. So I have made it a non-negotiable for people during my challenge groups to at least sign up for Beachbody On Demand for the 30-day free trial. If they are already a customer, like when you go and send them a link and they've already purchased things and that, I'd say I still send them like to my site to sign up for the Beachbody On Demand free trial. And then I say, just message me your sign up info, like your order number and your email when you've completed your order, because they'll still get an order number with their Beachbody On Demand sign up.
Okay.
So have them send you that info, and then you hop on teambeachbody.com and you go to the help/FAQs and you can live chat, hop on with Coach Relations and say, I have a customer who wants to switch over to me as their coach.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And then I know that they are signed up as my customer because like I said, it's just like at this point, I know what I have is valuable. And in the beginning, I felt like I was almost desperate. Like I was like, I don't care, just join my challenge group. And now I'm like, you know what? What I have is important, and I have a lot to offer, people in my challenge group. So I also just feel like, I don't feel like I know that the people who have purchased things and not purchased things, the people who don't purchase things don't participate in challenge groups, right? I think we can all attest to that. So at least if they have a little something where they can, and I just say, if they ask me why, I just say, I am a true believer in our programs, and I want everyone to get the most out of my challenge groups, and I want you to be able to follow a workout program from start to finish, right? They could follow Insanity or P90X or TurboFire, any of those from start to finish with the meal plans, with the calendar, everything in Beachbody On Demand. So that's kind of my soapbox on that, but I at least make them sign up with Beachbody On Demand.
No, that's excellent. I forget all about that. That's great. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica, do you have any questions? I wrote down mine, so I won't forget. She's good? You're good?
I'm good.
Okay.
I have the people and they're like, oh yeah, I want to buy. And I'm like, hey, awesome. And I do the whole scripting for becoming a discount coach and nothing. So I'm like, I am just like keeping my nose down and keeping doing what I'm doing, knowing that it's going to turn around and it's.
Mm-hmm. Pump that well, girl. Pump that.
And
well.
I feel like it's just with more exposure those happen, because now I feel like, oh, every month for sure I get at least 2 discount coaches, but that's because I feel like over time I'm getting a lot more people coming back to me over this past year plus, like literally people I messaged a year ago who are now like signing up as a discount coach, or people who never responded to me. So that's why I always say give it time. And I know that's so frustrating to hear like over and over again, but I see it happen to me every month, like with challenge points and everything. Just so yeah, just keep diving in, because it will start to build and come back around.
Yeah, and I realized, I think a lot of like my own personal reasons why I'm not getting the response I'd like is because I need to be a better product of the product and get a good before and after going. So I'm like, once I get that, then it's just going to roll right in. So,
and it takes time, but it'll be worth it in the end for sure.
Okay. What does your new coach training look like, Kinsey, for your personally sponsored coaches? What do you do for them?
So yeah, besides putting them in like a coach basics group. So when I sign up a new coach, the first thing, like I talked about, I do the invite process. I do the follow-up. I'll send them what is coaching call, follow up with them either on the phone, or if it's going really well through Messenger, I can just go that way. And then I tell them, and this has kind of changed for me over time, just as I've kind of played around with things, but I send them a new coach email that Kelly, I think, has a good template on the teamhardhitters.com website. And then the password is hardhitters, one word, with the first H is a capital, 987. That website has a great template you can use, but I tell them that I'm adding them to our team pages and that I want to set up a call with them within the first 3 days of them signing up as a coach. Now, I've already worked out the details of how they're going to sign up, whether with a challenge pack or, all that stuff. So I say I want to get on the phone with them. And in my Getting Started Right call, I used to talk a lot about Success Club and challenge packs and this and that. But in my email, I'll send them an About Me form. And this kind of lets them let me know what kind of coach they want to be. There's questions on there about how much time can you contribute each month, or where do you see this going, and all those expectations that they have with signing up. And if some people say, oh, I just want to earn enough money to get free Shakeology, or, I'm going to send them, the Getting Started Right call is basically going to be formatted off what they put in that About Me form. If they say, I want to be in the Millionaires Club, obviously the Getting Started Right call is going to look a little different for those people. I'm going to say Success Club 5 is the minimum, a challenge group every month. Any coach that really signs up for the business, I'm going to say those same things too, right? And now I've started with new coaches, that first challenge group, to kind of take the edge off for them, co-hosting a challenge group with them. Because I feel like if they've just come off a challenge group with me, it's a little scary to go from 0 to 60 unless they're like, no, I got this. It's really like putting out the feelers. So I'll co-host a challenge group with them. I'll say, I'll add challengers, you add challengers, and then we divvy it up from there. And then kind of just see how their first month goes. And then after the first 30 days, I like to check back in with new coaches to set goals and kind of just see where they're at, what questions they have. Oh, also in my Getting Started Right email, I do have a video that I send coaches, and it's a general welcome to the team video. If anybody wants to look at mine, it's on my YouTube channel. Kinsey James is all you have to look up. And it's just welcome to Team Fired Up. And it just kind of talks about a few more specifics of coaching and hosting challenge groups. And I'd say send that more to real business builders than people who just want to get free Shakeology or maybe host a challenge group a month for their own accountability. So the getting started right process definitely varies on a spectrum. And I remember seeing a call from Mindy Wender about this too. And she has like an A, B, and C category for every coach that signs up. So an A is a kind of a little more than a discount coach, wants to make a little something. A B is that coach that wants to earn a little bit of income, host a challenge group. And then C are those, people who want to make this their business. So once I kind of got that into my mind, I was like, okay, not everyone fits in this pigeonhole. And you're not going to scare people off with like way more information than you need to give them.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm just taking notes. And okay, my other question that I wrote down, let's talk about men for a second. Do you find that you, one, have very many men as customers, and two, convert to coaches? Like,
I have had a whopping this many men customers. I just feel like it's not my niche. I kind of had a male customer. It was my brother-in-law, and it was with my sister-in-law. Like, so it just, I don't know. I don't count that.
It was like a byproduct of your sister.
Yes. Yeah. So, I just feel like if I have, like my brother-in-law, I set up with Quinn on our team, like to join a challenge group, because I just, he didn't feel connected to the group he was in, and I totally get that. So I just, I'll support them if I get them, which I haven't really, but I don't know. It's just I don't feel like that would be my niche.
That is totally fair.
And I tried doing hammer and chisel. I did run a co-ed group, but it was always my friends' boyfriends or my friends' husbands. So it wasn't really directly from me.
Awesome. Do you guys have any other questions, or anyone else that's on? I think it's just us five.
No, I think we're good. I'm good anyway.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kinsey. This has been so wonderful. So much good information. I have 2 full pages of notes.
I know, sorry, I talked so fast.
I just really appreciate it. Thank you. And I will post this on our team page. I'll post it on Fired Up, and I will post it on my YouTube channel. So thank you guys. Have a great night. I will talk to you all later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.